Okay, so I'm going to be showing you an example of graphing a quadratic function with at least 3 transformations. And our equation is y equals -2 times x minus 3 squared plus 8. And we actually have 4 different transformations happening here. It is multiplied by negative, or -1, so we'll have a rotation of 180 degrees. It's multiplied by 2. It'll undergo a dilation because it's multiplied by a number, and since it is greater than 1, the parabola will become skinnier in a sense. Subtracted before it is squared, so it'll move to the right. It is added after the square, so it'll move up. So now we know a general sense of what we're doing. Remember, you always start with what's inside of the parentheses, then move to what is multiplied by, and finally what is added or subtracted at the end. So you always start with your parent graph, which is x squared. Remember, the vertex is on the point 0, 0. Oops, 0, 0. Okay, so first we're going to subtract 3 inside of the exponent. So that means it'll move 3 spaces to the right, and it'll go right here, and it'll have a vertex of 3, 0. So we can show that here, minus 3 squared. Here it is, vertex of 3, 0. And the next step is to multiply it by -2. So when it is multiplied by a negative, it is simply rotated 180 degrees. So if you watch the graph, when I add the negative sign, it in a sense flips over. What am I doing? Sense flips over. So instead of it being a minimum, it is now a maximum. Pretty simple. So now it is multiplied by 2. This is where it gets a little more complicated. So I'll show you that when you're doing this, it is helpful to think of the table. So when x, in the parent graph, when x equals 1, 1 squared, because x squared, so 1 squared is 1. So that's first point. 2 squared is 4. So that's second point. And then it is the same thing over here on the negative side. So this is pretty much the same thing that is happening when you multiply it by 2. Instead of it just being squared, you are at the same time multiplying it by the number. So if we multiply this by 2, you see the graph got skinnier. So when x is 1, 1 times 2 is 2. Then when x is 2, 4 times 2 is 8, and so forth. So that's all you're doing when you multiply it, and now I'll multiply it by 2 over here. Okay, and it's the same thing, just now it has a different vertex and it is a maximum. Okay, now the last thing we're doing is adding 8. So when we add numbers, it is a translation upwards. So the vertex will be moved 8 spaces up. This doesn't fit on my screen, so I'll show you here. Is plus 8. Okay, so this is our final parabola. The vertex is 3, 8. It underwent a rotation, a dilation, and 2 translations.